أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله، الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله على آله صحبه ومن تبعه وولاه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد, there was a reflection I wanted you to hear, but I'll share with you inshallah. It is a reflection on before we recite the Quran, before we recite Surah Al-Fatiha, we say أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. And there are some reflections on that when we say isti'adha, you're seeking refuge in Allah from the shaitan, and then you're asking Allah's help. It's exactly the shahada that we do. That's exactly the practical reflection or manifestation of La ilaha illallah. When you say أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, it is you going practicing La ilaha illallah. How is that? Because La ilaha illallah is two parts. La ilaha and illallah, right? One which is the I don't know why they call when I start the class.
It's called timing.
Okay. So when you say La ilaha, it's negation, and then illallah is affirmation, right? So you negate first that there is no God worthy of worship, period, except Allah. So first you have to disassociate from any shirk, right? Anyone that worthy of worship, and you admit that only Allah deserves that. This is our shahada, right? This is our core of our faith. Now when you say أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, you're asking Allah to do what? From what? From anything wrong. Shaitan. Anything wrong you will attribute it to shaitan, because you created to worship Allah. So you say أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم first to disassociate yourself from anything that displeases Allah. Then you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim to help you do that things that you want. It's like you saying La ilaha illallah, saying أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم means, Ya Allah, like I disassociated myself from anyone except you, so please help me to dissociate myself from anything to distract me from you. Then Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim comes, and when you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, you're seeking the help of Allah's name, Allah, and with Allah's name. Allah loves to be mentioned with His name. That's why you say Bismillah. You don't say Billahi, right? You say Bismillah, with the name of Allah. And you use the word Allah for the worship, that He's the only one worthy of worship. And then the Rahmah of Allah, mercy. Rahman is for everybody. Rahim is specifically for believers. So second reflection here is like, if we are advised to start everything with Bismillah, right? Before you enter your home, when you exit your home, before you sleep, when a person gets married, when everything is the name of Allah. So we say in the name of Allah and we invoke Allah's mercy. So how come we disobey Allah after that? So I was saying, like someone, when they get married, they say, I give my daughter to you in the name of Allah, in the book of Rasulullah. Yeah, that, ala kitab Allah wa sunnat Rasulullah, Bismillah, right? And then you know how you started with Allah, then you end up being abusive. You end up shouting. You end up doing all these things. So you start with Allah, you need to go according to the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That was a reflection too. Then you know about reflection of Surah Al-Fatiha, that how it is a conversation that we have every day with Allah Azza wa Jal at least 17 times. So people like non-Muslims will say, okay, I speak to God, or God spoke to me, and we feel like it is kind of strange, right? But we do it actually every day. It's conversation, right? What is the proof of its conversation? The Prophet told us it is a conversation. That Allah Azza wa Jal said that I divided the salah, and I mentioned that when we were explaining Surah Al-Fatiha, if you remember, between me and my servant. When my servant said this, Allah Azza wa Jal said, my servant remembered me, and my servant praised me, my servant glorified me. This is between me and my servant. When you say إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين, then when you ask Allah the hidayah, Allah Azza wa Jal give it to you. He say, you know, I give you what you want, right? So there's, you talk to Allah, Allah talk to you, right? That Rasulullah told us that every time you recite Surah Al-Fatiha, Allah is telling you things. And how would you know except if Rasulullah tells you, right? So every time you recite Surah Al-Fatiha, It's as if you are hearing the response. Okay, when you say, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Allah says, my servant praised me, right? So Allah is responding to you. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Allah is responding to you. When you say, Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in, Allah said, this is between me and you. We know this is the personal, relationship now. And then when you ask Allah for guidance, say, you are guided. So when you take it as a conversation, you're really more connected, right? You become more connected. It's not like just a surah of Quran I'm reading because I have to read and the rak'ah cannot be valid without it. This is the external part, right? But actually you have to think about what you want. So this is something I wanted to share with you, inshallah. Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 258. We recited this part, right? I recited this part at the end, okay. In here, Allah Azza wa Jalla is talking about Tawheed, about proving Allah's power, Allah's existence and Allah's power. Debating with someone who claimed that he's a god, Namrud or Nimrod. And Allah telling Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that, okay, Allah telling Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that as an argument and as an answer also to the mushrikeen, whether in Arabia or anywhere else, and to the Jews who rejected the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You have to admit the power of Allah, then you will be able to worship Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah Azza wa Jalla is telling Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Alam tara. We talked about that last time. Alam tara, meaning you see. Right? See. Even though it's the past. Of course Rasulullah did not see. Did not see that. It was in the past, right? So I was saying, didn't you see? It is like, don't you see what happened to such and such and such? It's a story you heard, it's not necessarily you seeing. And I told you about seeing and hearing and touching and all that last time, right? So it's more when visualizing is like very strong, as if you are seeing a movie in front of you. So when the word tara here, then you start imagining as if it's happening. And this is the beauty of Quran. Whenever you hear that story, then you see, then you start seeing it. While it is told to you, you start drawing it. And that's what kids do. When you give them a bedtime story, while you are talking, they are imagining. And if you are so good, actually they will be thinking that they are the ones, the hero or something like that, right? So it depends how you attach, how you connect. And that's how we understand the stories of the Quran. Okay? So level number 1 is just a story. Level number 2, you are actually as if you are looking at Sayyidina Ibrahim while he's talking to that king, right? Level number 3, that you will start relating to your own personal experiences. Okay? So, Sayyidina Ibrahim is telling Namrud that Namrud is like a king and this person like that and he's saying this, and you started making, and that's the whole point. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, فَقْصُصِ الْقَصَصَ لَعْلَمَ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. So tell them the story so they can reflect. So the whole point of a story is that you make something out of it in your life. The point of any story in the Quran, like that. And always you will find this between transgression or oppression on one side, with the falsehood, and weakness with the truth. Okay? But then how the weakness or the truth wins at the end. It is repeated all over, right? Story of Yusuf alayhi salam. You see that concept, right? He's weak, he's a child, and his brothers are strong and everything. But he's the one who have the right, and they are the ones who transgress, right? So they oppressed him. But at the end of the day, what happened? Switched, right? Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, Fir'aun. At the end of the day, switched, right? Namrud and Ibrahim alayhi salam switched at the end. And Dawood and Jalut, we talked it, right? Jalut, big, huge, and everybody like scared and all that. And comes the young man and he dies. End of the day. All of these stories telling us what? That sometimes we only live the experience of wrongdoing or the transgression. We're not learning from this. So when a person is transgressed, it's like the end of the world. When a person is transgressed, it's like what? The end of the world. They are not looking to the bigger one. They want it for quick escape. Quick escape. Children, teenagers, they think the parents are transgressors. Yeah, just giving you an example we all can relate to it. And then they just want to run away. And they want to be independent. And you know, I don't have to go with the rest. Yeah. Regardless how good they are or bad they are or how lenient you are, strong you are, it is the same exact thing. Me and you were in the same position one day. Right? So it's not like something new. It's how you handle it. That's the important part, how you handle it. Then you cannot fix the way they're thinking and they cannot convince you with what they're thinking. Okay? Why? Because both are looking only on that time. Okay, they are not seeing the bigger picture. They have to go and experience and become parents, and they say, that was it. Right? Quran doesn't want us to wait until then. It doesn't want us to wait until then. It gives you one pattern after another pattern, after another pattern, after another pattern, telling you, you are human, this is human, and that's how it happens. So learn. Learn from it. That's why saying our kids have to love the Quran. They have to love the masjid. What we do, my kids have to read the Quran. They have to memorize the Quran. They have to attend the class. They have to go to the masjid. There is a lecture. You have to be part of it. See, two different things, right? Yeah, they have to do all the above. But when they are taken, or when it is approached like this, it fails all the time. It will succeed sometime, but it fails most of the time. When the kids have their own personality, they don't have to read, they don't have to memorize. They will not go to the masjid because they can say no now, right? Because the way you introduced it to them, that they have to do all of those things. Okay? They are human beings, they don't want to be. But if they love the mosque, if that love is instilled when they are still young, loving things, loving their parents, loving their home, loving the park, loving their friends, loving their good teacher, loving all of that, then they will accept the good and the bad and the orders and the prohibitions with it, that comes with it. They love to be with their friends. Are their friends angels all the time? Yes or no? Why they were like kind of like, oh, you're not my friend anymore, but next day they become best friend again. Why? Because they love each other. They love to be with each other. Why they love to go to the park? Because this is something that they enjoy, right? If the swing is broken, they'll go to the slide. If the slide is not functioning, they'll okay, we can just spend some good time over there, right? They want to go out. Why? Because out is something that they can experience many things. That out can be raining, can be snow, but still they love it. We are not doing the same thing with the masjid. They have to love being in the masjid. Now, if the imam is boring or not boring, they love other things about the masjid, right? If there is a lecture or a barbecue, they still like to be in the masjid, regardless what is the activity. They will make the activity later, right? Love the Quran. You will learn how to read it. If you don't read it, you want to listen to it. If you don't listen to it, you want to be in association with someone who likes it, who loves it. So, loving something will make you attached to it in a way or another. You will try to find the reason to be there. You will find the reason to do it. You get it, my sisters? You find the reason. Do you love the Quran, or you just have to attend the class? You see? You have to attend the class. Then we see what we're seeing. People dropping, I don't feel okay today. I find excuses not to do it, right? Then people have to pay, people have to register, people have to do this to be committed. Why? Because there is no personal emotional attachment to it. If there is any personal emotional attachment, it becomes part of your life. Part of your life. Why you like to shop? Why you like shopping? Tell me. If not, just we're making conversation. Tell me, why you like shopping?
Sometimes it's out of boredom.
What if you're not bored? You still like to shop, right? Tell me, come on, tell me, give me more.
It's past. It's past us.
Yeah. We were, but it's always nice to have something new.
That's what I'm talking about. So like, whether you are bored, whether you need something, the shopping is an experience for you that you find a solution. Yes? That's what I'm trying to reach. Yani. It is a solution when you are bored. It is a solution when you are not bored. It is a solution when you want something. It is a solution when you upgrade. It is a solution when you want to change, but you end up doing the same exact thing. You get the idea now, right? So, does the Quran serve like that? Now, if I am sad, I need to go read Quran. If I am bored, I should read Quran. If I am happy, I go thank Allah by reading some Quran. Right? So, if I gain something, I read Quran. If I lose something, I read Quran. If I am attached on the same, if it is a solution for me, but it's not a solution. It is a task. It is a task. You either a task you have to make it, or you make it upon yourself. You know, sometimes I'm so distracted about the dunya. You know, I'm 4 years old now. I'm 50, so it is time to be good. Right? So you find older people go to the masjid, older sisters want to study now, and you know, they want to do da'wah, and they want to do, it's good. I'm just telling you it is good. But why not 20 years ago? Because you were busy. Being pretty, being like newly married, and doesn't have children, and all of that thing. This is, now the focus is me. And the whole world have to be according to that. Now when I start losing these material things, I go back to Allah Azza wa Jal, because this is the way, right? I'm sorry, but I'm just sharing with you what we are all think like that, or another. But then this has to change in our children. If not in our children, please do it with your grandchildren. Please do, right? Raise them like that. Since now we are in that wisdom kind of phase. Okay, so make the children grow with that love to be a believer, a Muslim, like to go to the masjid. If they love their parents really for Allah Azza wa Jalla, not as a service provider, because we make our children believe in us as service providers. And when you stop providing them with what they want, then you're no good. But if they love their parents for whoever they are, and this takes lots of effort from very young age, when you are pregnant in that child, right? It takes time, when how you're thinking, all these hormones and things go to the child while they are still there, right? So, if the child grows like that, then they love their parents because they need to love their parents. So if their parents are wrong, if their parents make a mistake, if their parents were harsh, if their parents say something, there is a level of trust and love. A husband and wife, same thing, employer, employee, teacher, student, all of that, right? And that's why the Sahaba were attached to Rasulullah ﷺ so much that even it went to the limit of loving him personally. So when he died, Sayyidina Umar was kind of like, no, right? So Sayyidina Abu Bakr woke him up, right? He said, no, he lived a system, right? We loved him when he was alive. Now he's not alive, but his system's still alive, so we go according to that one, right? And that love continues. So now, when we're reading those stories, I want you to think like that. Be attached to it, that it is talking to you. It's not a story about Ibrahim alayhi salam and the Namrud, and that's it. No, bring it to your life. It's ibadah when you reflect on everything that happens to you. It's ibadah. Ibadah. Worship of Allah, it's called ibadah tafakkur. The worship of tafakkur. And this is the ibadah of the heart. This is the ibadah of the brain. There is ibadah of the body, physical, right? You don't eat and drink. You stop doing certain activities. You pray. You go to Hajj or Umrah. You take the money out and spend. This is physical ibadat, right? But there are ibadah of the heart too. Ibadah of the tongue, when you make dhikr, and then you start thinking about what you're saying, then your heart feels content. أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبِ. The hearts feel comforted. Why? Because you're thinking about what you're saying, right? It's not only physical thing. And the salah will relax you. It's like charging your battery, right? So you see the battery of the iPhone? It goes from green to like yellow and then red if you are power saver mode, right? The red and then boom, boom, boom and out. Yeah. So this salah comes. Somebody sent me like a cartoon like this, right? Like two workers, one praying and one not praying, right? So the one who is praying, he works on the computer and everything, and it shows the battery life is going down. Then the azan comes, he goes and prays. Once he put his head down in sajda, the battery is green again, right? So he goes again. It is a symbolic thing, right?
Yeah.
That's actually what you do every day. Yeah. Now when you delay a salah, that's what happens, right? You're risking your phone to quit on you at any time. So imagine that your phone is red, but you're not putting it in the charger. You ride your car and you have a charger right there, right? But you are on the phone. You know what? Okay, put the charger and talk, right? But it will quit on you. So salah is like that. So reflect. Now, our ayah is saying to Rasulullah, don't you see? حاج إبراهيم في ربه. حاج. This is shadda, right? That means he is bringing an argument against someone. From the word hujjah. Hujjah is an argument. And sometimes it is a defeating argument. When you say hujjah, means I have the hujjah, right? I am saying my opinion and I have a hujjah for it. Unless you have a hujjah, counter hujjah, you're defeated. You get the point here? So Allah did not say hajja. Hajja like hajj yani, right? If you say hajja means he reached his point already. So alam tara alladhi hajja Ibrahim means he defeated Ibrahim alayhi salam, but was not defeated. He is throwing his hujjah and Ibrahim alayhi salam bring him the counter hujjah that defeated him. You get the idea here? So don't you see the one who tried to defeat Sayyidina Ibrahim by an argument? That's what it means, يعني, right? أَلَمْ تَرَ إِلَى الَّذِي حَاجَّ. يعني he brought a hujjah for Ibrahim alayhi salam to prove something. Thinking that, oh, I won now, right? Wait for it. And boom, he hit him and khalas. Right? So حَجَّهُ Ibrahim. يعني he's حَجَّ, but Sayyidina Ibrahim حَجَّهُ. حَجَّهُ means he reached the goal. That's why Hajj, when you go to Hajj, the definition is reaching your goal. Right? Reaching the goal. So أَلَمْ تَرَ الَّذِي حَاجَّ إِبْرَاهِيمَ فِي رَبِّهِ أَنْ آتَاهُ اللَّهُ الْمُلْكِ. Why he is making this argument? Because Allah gave him the kingship. Allah Azza wa Jalla gave him this kingship. So, and Hajj also means jadala, mujadala. You know mujadala? Argument, argumentative, jidal. So his power, his authority caused him to be arrogant and thinking that he is not to be defeated. Alright? So that's the meaning of that. حاج إبراهيم في ربه. أن آتاه الله الملك. Now, this ayah is relevant to the ayat before. We were talking before about what? Allahu waliyyu alladhina amanu. Remember? After Ayatul Kursi. And no compulsion in religion. And then Allah said there are two groups of people. Allah is the waliyyu of the believer. يخرجهم من الظلمات إلى النور. From darkness to light. Opposite is shaitan, taghut, the transgressors, right? They take them from light to darkness. Opposite, right? Then Allah is giving us an example that show us the both sides. So Allah waliyyu alladhina amanu, you have Sayyidina Ibrahim. Right? How Allah gave him the argument and how he wins at the end. الذين كفروا لكن نمرود. Right? And how he thought that he wins in the beginning, but he at the end what? Loses. Right? So he said that I can. Ibrahim alayhi salam said, I believe in Allah. He said, I am a God too. He said, my God can give life and death. So he said, I can give life and death too. And he proved it in a very silly manner. I will mention it in a minute. One of the Mufassirin, Mujahid ibn Jabr, he is the student of Abdullah ibn Abbas. He said, there are 4 kings who owned the whole world in their time, or most of it, that they have power over the whole earth, right? They can do whatever they want. 2 were believers and 2 were non-believers. The believers are Sulaiman and Dawood. Dawood and Sulaiman. Sulaiman wa Dawood. Some added the third one. They said Dhul Qarnayn, Surah Kahf, right? Yeah, so they said Sulaiman and Dawood as one, like Dawood alayhi salam owned, but Sulaiman owned more, right? So they are like counting them as one. And the Dhul Qarnayn on the other side, one person, he owned everything. That's why Allah Azza wa Jalla said he went to north and south and east and west and all that, right? So he owned all that. And the kafir, the 2 kafirs, Namrud, this one, and someone called Bukht Nasr. Bukht Nasr. He is the one who destroyed Jerusalem, and his mentioning will come later indirectly. That Uzair was passing by and he saw the town which was destroyed, and then he died for like 100 years, right? That was the destruction of this Bukht Nasr, who was invading everything. But this is the narration, right? From Mujahid ibn Jabr at his time. So, people used to worship their rulers alone, or along with other idols, or along with God. You have to understand that, right? So people will worship Fir'aun, but not Fir'aun only. They have other gods also, okay? Sometimes they think those gods is to help them, or he has a godly thing about him, but there are other gods can do other things too, right? So it's a shirky kind of. So sometimes this person alone, like in Persia for example, they think that the king is the god, period, right? And the mother god of them is like the fire, and that one is like the human incarnate of the fire, whatever, right? So anybody who becomes their king is like the god. Romans and the Greek, they have gods for everything, right? And they have like one God who rules everybody. Mushrikeen in Mecca, they know Allah, but they have gods to get them to Allah. So you have to see these different systems, right? So worshipping in Namrud, not necessarily that they worship him alone. Or Fir'aun says, Amana Rabbukumul A'la. Yani, I know there are other Rabb, but I am the highest. Okay? So you can worship the other guys, but don't forget that I'm the biggest one, right? So this is the background. So now the people used to worship their kings. So Ibrahim alayhi salam now say we worship Allah alone. So the king now want him to come bring him back. So we're having that debate, right? Whom you worship? I worship God. Who's that God? He does this. I do that. Like this conversation. So when Ibrahim alayhi salam, they're saying it happened after Ibrahim alayhi salam broke the idols, right? When he broke all those idols. So now it's an issue now, right? If he's by himself, fine. Yani worship whatever by yourself, it's okay. Those kings had that politics, diplomacy, right? Like the mushrikeen of Mecca. When Rasulullah ﷺ said there is only one God, that's alright. When he had few weaker people or his family members, no big deal. But when he starts saying loudly, you're wrong, I am right, then we have an issue. Oh, that's how politics work, right? Democracy works as long as you're not challenging the system. It's good, right? Once you challenge the system, means there's issue now. Okay. So he asked him, so why you broke the idols and all that? And he asked him, he said, my Lord is the one who gives life and death. So he is the source of life and he is the causer of death. He is the one who causes death. So that king, transgressor king, he said, I can give life to people by forgiving them. And I cause people by killing them and executing them. And he brought 2 people who were in death row. Right? He executed one and he forgave one. He said, see, I also give life and death. Taban, but sometimes in the argument, you don't have to hold to that one if you have a stronger argument. You need to learn these things, right? sometimes when you have a conversation with someone and they started sidetracking, you can go with them, and that's wrong. Very wrong, right? For one reason only. Because now you are distracted, okay? You have a goal, and you have a good argument to prove the goal, okay? I have 4 or 5 arguments. So argument number 1 is the easy one. If they didn't challenge it, khalas, alhamdulillah, conversation finished, right? Now if they challenge that one, and you have a stronger one, and they challenge it in a very silly manner, right? So you know what? Forget about this one. You go to the next. Doesn't mean you're defeated. He thinks so, right? But then you bring the other one and, oh, okay. So later, tell him, by the way, first one was, so now it's like done. This is the kind of like the rules of engagement, rules of argument, okay? So if someone very narrow-minded like this one here, he's very narrow-minded, right? And he's going to take me to that side. Oh, I did not mean that. Ibrahim a.s. would say this. Oh, I did not mean that. No, it means like, okay, you killed that guy, bring him to life now. No, I'm not going to discuss that with you. I'll bring you a bigger one. Right? I'll bring you a bigger one. Because also sometimes you don't know what he's going to throw back at you. Because the more you are engaging, the more stupid that person can go with arguments, right? And now you already sidetracked. Now you have to finish this, right? Before you go back to the serious one. And that's why sometimes when you talk to somebody and they start taking you here and they say, please focus on this one, let's finish this one first, I'll respond to those, right? But focus. We need this done now. We need it done now. Right? So sometimes kids, like you find some mess, right? So who made that mess? It's not me. It's not me. It's not me. It's not me. Is it you, honey? No. And it's not me. So it must be somebody came from outside, right? You go ahead and clean. But I am not the one who did it. He said, we'll talk about that later, right? This needs to be clean now. And I'm telling you to clean it, and that's it. So later, it results on what? If someone wants to make a mess, everybody else doesn't want to be the one who end up cleaning it, right? So they want to make sure that he does not or she does not do the mess. So instead of focusing now, who did it, who did not do it, I'm a liar, you are guys like this, you stressing me out, and we go sidetracked now, right? Sound familiar for you? Yes. You get sidetracked with these things, right? Who did it? No, I want to know who did it. And if you don't tell me, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to going all the way to the south. This needs to be fixed, right? So I will solve it in a way that you guys will not like, right? One of you have to clean it, and I will choose the one who cleans it. So now, every time this happens 2-3 times, then later on, Baba, he made a mess. So everybody, and I told him not to do it. Oh, she made it. I told him that. That's not snitching, by the way, but that's okay, right? You create a system. So Ibrahim alayhi salam, instead of engaging him in this one and telling him, you used the wrong manifestation, that's not what I meant, he told him, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْتِي بِالشَّمْسِ مِنَ الْمَشْرِقِ فَأْتِ بِهَا مِنَ الْمَغْرِبِ. Right? My Lord brings the sun from the east. You bring it from the west. Why he told him that? Why he told him that? For a few reasons. Right? He is not telling him you are not a god. He's telling him, let me agree with you, you are a god. See, that's called the tanazzul ala ra'i al-khasm. Tanazzul ala ra'i al-khasm means, let's assume you're right. You know that statement? Let me agree with you for a minute that God has a son. It's not like I believe in it now, right? But you are going somewhere with it. You see the idea here? You're going somewhere with it, right? If he had a son, what does prevent that he has a father? If he had a son, maybe he's the son of someone. Possible. Once you see he begets, means he's begotten. And what negates that? And if he has the ability to get a son, maybe he had a brother. If you say no, why he had a son but he doesn't have a brother? Right? So it's like I'm agreeing to make a bigger point. Okay? So Ibrahim a.s. said, okay, my God, yuhyi wa yumeet. and you are yuhyi wa yumeet. Let's move on. Give him a bigger one, right? It's not like Ibrahim alayhi salam, he agrees you are a God and your point was made. No. He's getting to a bigger one to defeat him, knock out, right? So he's telling him, my Lord, in the first one, is قال إبراهيم ربي. He did not say Allah yuhyi wa yumeet. He told him Rabbi, my Lord. You are a Lord and I have a Lord, right? You say so. Let's agree on that. ربي الذي يحيي ويميت. My Lord يحيي ويميت. قال أنا أحيي ويميت. So he's putting himself equal now, right? So Ibrahim alayhi salam goes now, he's saying Inna Allah. He did not say Rabbi, right? Because that's the knockdown now, knockout. الضربة القاضية يعني, right? Is the final blow. Inna Allah means you are not equal to him, and I am sure you are not going to do it. So he has to still be Allah now. It's not Rabbi versus you anymore, right? You're already defeated. Inna Allah ya'ti. He brings the sun from the east, and you know that every day. And he bring him an argument that he cannot deny, right? He tell him, okay, I'm making a claim now. You know, sun comes from the east every day, right? Right? So Allah brings it from the east. Now he can say, no, it is not Allah who brings it from the east, it is me. مثلا يعني, right? But he cannot do that because we are going to go to another argument now, right? So he told him, he brings it from the east. If I make the wrong claim, so bring it from the west. Means my Allah is no good no more, right? Means you're more powerful. And if there is no Allah, it is not my argument, right? I'm saying Allah bring it from the east. Okay, so two possibilities now. That yes, Allah bring it from the east. Now you go challenge him, right? Or the other possibility that it is not Allah bring it from the east, right? But you cannot bring it from the east either, because you have to bring something different, right? Because that actually defeats the purpose. If you say that, Ibrahim, no, your Lord is not the one who bring it from the east. I am the one who bring it every day from the east. If he tells you that, what would you say? How you solve it? Think. If that was the argument, how he solve it? Same thing. You bring it from the east every day, type bring it from the west one day. If you are able to bring it from the east, right? Bring it from the west, and then go back to your regular routine, Mr. God. Right? So he's stuck. You get that? You understand what the argument making here? He's a catch-22. Yani he's stuck. You cannot go around. Yani if you tell Ibrahim, no, it's not Allah. It is me who bring it from the east every day. Well, good, my friend. If you have that ability, means you can stop it, right? So stop it. Tomorrow morning, we don't want to see the sun come. So bring it from the west one day. Play around, yeah. خليها تيجي من النورث. From the north one day. You were the one to bring it from the east, means you are God. So he's stuck, basically stuck. He cannot go around anywhere. So that's why Allah Azza wa Jalla said, فَبُهِتَ الَّذِي كَفَرْ. Buhit means frozen. Bahatahu means he's shocked to a level that he's frozen. His mind cannot process it anymore. بُهِتَ الَّذِي كَفَرْ. It is overwhelmed him, right? He cannot go around, because this is kind of argument that you have no response to. And that becomes the strongest, most powerful argument. And nobody can go around it, because it is the hujjah of Allah Azza wa Jal. So Ibrahim alayhi salam tell him, this is my Lord. So first, some narrations say that he killed someone and he freed someone, and he said that's how it is. And he brought two people, and he gives them food and drink, and the other two people he did not give them food and drink. And he says, those guys I give them sustenance to live, and those guys I stop the sustenance so they die. So yani this is يعني how Ibrahim alayhi salam defeated him twice. In the first one by just skipping it, and the second one by giving him an argument that he cannot go away. So Buhita became confused, became frozen, became shocked, overwhelmed. All of this together means فَبُهِتَ. And they call it in Arabic afhama. Afhama. You know, fahm means charcoal. Fahm. Fa and ha and mim. Charcoal, right? Charcoal is like what happens after burning and everything. Called a fahm, right? So that means he has no fire, no more power. So afhamahu means he make him like this. When you make someone afham, means he have an argument that he could not, there is no comebacks. As long as we are talking, there is fire going on, right? Fire, right? But once a person like afhama, means he extinguished the fire. That's it. You can no comeback, and there is no back argument. Afhama.
No retaliation.
Yeah, no retaliation. It's over. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, "Wallahu la yahdi al-qawm al-zalimin." Someone might have a problem with this, by the way. Since we are an advanced class, we are studying this kind of things, right? So somebody can say, "Wallahu la yahdi al-qawm al-zalimin." Allah does not guide the transgressors, but Allah guides everybody, right? So Allah Azza wa Jalla said He decided not to guide them. Wallahu la yahdi al-qawm. Allah does not guide it. Actually, the answer is in the statement itself. They are zalimeen before the guidance of Allah. So that's why they rejected, right? That's one. The other thing is, guidance has levels. We have the natural guidance. Fitra. You know fitra? Fitra means the innate, original state of creation. You are guided to be good. That's gift to everybody, right? Yani, whether you choose or not, but everybody's guided. That's why Allah Azza wa Jalla says, سَبِّحِ اسْمُ رَبِّكَ الْأَعْلَى الَّذِي خَلَقَ وَالَّذِي قَدَّرَ فَهَدَى. Hada, everything. He guided everything to do what it created to do. Right? Everything. That's everything. Allah give hidayah to that tree to grow that way. Give hidayah to that animal to have that thing. Give hidayah to human being to function like that. Right? So that's guidance. Fitra guidance. الذي أعطى كل شيء خلقه ثم هدى. He created everything and He guided it to its system. Yeah, right? So that's the hidayah level, hidayah. First level. Then Allah gives the guidance of using the aql. Using the brain. Using the ability to think. He gave you that. He guided you to distinguish right from wrong. Good from bad. So that's an extra step. Some people accept that guidance. Some people don't accept that guidance. Right? So He shows you وَهَدَيْنَاهُ النَّجِدَيْنِ. Right? Group choose this and a group choose that. So a group use their fitra and then the extra gift of aql to find the right way. The other one have the fitra. You function, you eat when you're hungry, you do that. That's everybody shares, right? But then they did not use their aql to do what? Right. They ended up doing what? Wrong. And they transgressed. By that transgression, Allah did not guide them to the next step because they have to go to that step to go to the next one, which is the guidance of Sharia. You have the guidance of fitra, everyone, right? You function in a certain way, right? I'm thirsty, I need to drink. I am ignorant, I need to learn, right? There are fitra kida, like, whatever you want. It's raining, I need to shelter. Fitra. That's Allah guided you and everybody shares, right? Then Allah gives you aql now, an extra level to choose wrong from right. And He showed you, right? Someone starving in the street, giving them food, that is a good choice because they are alive. This is nothing to do with religion yet, right? And aql, you are not supposed to take someone's belongings because someone can do it to you. You are not supposed to hurt that person because aql, using the aql. But does everybody use that? No, some people still they hurt others for their own thing. So they now messed up that level. Now the Sharia comes, unless you use your aql to choose it, right? You're not going to be guided to it. How are you going to be guided to do the Sharia while your aql you're not using, right? You're not using. So you have to use your aql. You use your aql. That's why people end up worshipping a cow, worshipping a star, worshipping an angel, worshipping something. Why? Because they did not use that aql to reach to what is more powerful than that. What's more powerful? What is more powerful? Until you get to the ultimate power, that's your aql is supposed to lead you there, right? But they stopped there. So they are not guided to the next step because they're stuck on that step. Then comes the guidance of Sharia. Send you a messenger telling you to adopt that religion, and then your life will be guarded by that Sharia, right? Now it is good if you are naked, means there will be other problems, right? So your aql says I have to cover, but the Sharia tells you how to cover. You get the point now? So you are not supposed to take someone's belonging, but the Sharia tells you what to do, right? Your fitra says that there is a physical need for me for a partner, right? Then your aql says I'm attracted to the other person, I need to choose one of those, and I like that one, but the Sharia tells you how to do it. So that's the guidance, right? So if a person use their fitra, use their aql, then they are guided to the Sharia. When they are guided to the Sharia, they need the guidance to continue, right? The guidance of tawfiq, support, continuity. Because Sharia has issues, right? It's hard. Challenges. People against you. People will fight you. You have your own nafs. You have your own lust. You have your own desire. You need protection, right? So you need that level of hidayah now. How a person will get that hidayah if they are not using their aql, if they are not abiding or guided to the Sharia, right? And this is where Allah Azza wa Jal said, Allah Azza wa Jal did not guide these people. Why? Because they're munafiq. They are not using the right thing. You cannot go to the next level unless you have that level of hidayah. Fitra hidayah, you go to aql hidayah. Aql hidayah, you go to the Sharia hidayah. Sharia hidayah, Allah, when you accept it, when you embrace it, when you know it is haqq, when you love it because it's come from Allah, Allah will help you to do it, even though it is hard. Then there is the hidayah of Jannah, to enter Jannah. That's why the people of Jannah, they say, Alhamdulillah alladhi hadana lihada. He guided us to reach. Now you reach your goal. So the guidance of reaching, accomplishing. So you have the guidance of fitrah. You have the guidance of aql to make the right choice. You have the guidance of Sharia, how to make the right choice. You have the guidance of staying firm on the path. And you have the guidance of reaching the Jannah. So whenever the word Allah Azza wa Jal guide whomever He wishes, and He mislead whomever He wishes. So you have to know which level is there, right? So Allah Azza wa Jal said, فَرِيقًا هَدَى وَفَرِيقًا حَقَّتْ عَلَيْهِمُ الضَّلَالَةِ. Right? A group that Allah guided, and a group that Allah Azza wa Jal sealed on them the deviation. He said, oh, Allah deviated them, so why they read the rest of the ayah. إِنَّهُمُ اتَّخَذُوا الْكَافِرِينَ أَوْلِيَاءَ مِن دُونِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. So they make the wrong aql choice. So they ended up not adopting the Sharia. For sure they will go to Jahannam, right? So it is that level. Yani Allah Azza wa Jal guide whoever take the reasons of guidance. You make the choice to go to guidance, then Allah guide you to the next level. So this has to be, that's why Allah Azza wa Jal said, وَاللَّهُ لَا يَهْدِ الْقَوْمَ الظَّالِمِينَ. So he is a zalim. He cannot be guided while he is a zalim. You have to step back. Give the people the right. Make the aql right choice. Then the Sharia will make sense to you. You will accept Allah. Okay? But nobody can say, oh, they are like that because their own thing. No. No, they rejected to make the right choice that Allah gave them. So it's one step after the other. وَاللَّهُ لَا يَهْدِ الْقَوْمَ الظَّالِمِينَ. Next example. Some of the scholars said that argument was after they threw Ibrahim in the fire, alayhi salam, and then he came out from it, and then the king now is challenged, right? Because, there's something now here, and I'll lose my power if I don't challenge him because he came out from the fire good, right? So that means there is something, that everybody will go to him. Okay? But it was the order of Allah Azza wa Jal for him to win. Now after that, in Namrud, this Israelite stories, we cannot say it's a lie, we cannot say it's the truth, we don't know, right? That he says, I'm still a king, I'm still a god, nothing can defeat me and all of that. So Allah Azza wa Jal sent him a ba'uda, mosquito or something that killed him. Some say that it entered inside of his head. So maybe it's a bug, maybe it is a mosquito, whatever it is, right? Something that humiliated him, right? That's something that humiliated him. Some take it to another level, and they're saying that, the people started slapping him and hitting him in his head to calm down and all those kind of things. But that's not the point. The point is that he thinks that he's so powerful, Allah sent him the weakest of his creation. It can be a virus, it doesn't have to be like something that you fly or a mosquito. It can be a virus, and it kills the person. Subhanallah, it's amazing. People sometimes think that they're invincible, and the least of things is what brings them down. It brings them down. You need to humble yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, from this ayat, we understand that Allah Azza wa Jal call a kafir Malik. He call him king. Allah call himself al-Malik, right? But no problem that Allah Azza wa Jal called non-believers Milk. And آتاه الله الملك. But he says, who gave him the mulk? Allah Azza wa Jal. So we have limited kingship. So there is a Malik. It's not a haram name, right? Allah use it even for non-believer. Also, this ayat shows us the importance of argument for the sake of Allah, but only when you are able. So benefit from this ayat, the importance of argument, debate. But you have to be qualified for it, and you have to do it right. Allah Azza wa Jal says, وَلَا تُجَادِلُوا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ إِلَّا بِالَّتِي أَحْسَنُ. Don't debate with the people of the book except in the right manner. بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ means husna, but without compromising your religion. The problem is, you have two extremes when it comes to interfaith dialogue or debating or whatever, right? Two extremes. One that goes and kind of like strip their belief and their religion and attack, right? Even if the others don't reply to you, it brings a bigger problem, right? You kind of cut the communication. You are very aggressive. They don't want to accept that aggressive religion, and you did the opposite of what you wanted, right? Yeah. That's one extreme. The other extreme, completely kumbaya. You know kumbaya, right? Everybody's good, everybody goes to paradise, so let's be good, right? You worship your way, I worship my way, and we all go to paradise. Such a difference. Salad bowl, melting pot, whatever you want to call it, right? And I'll see you in paradise, man. So, and I'm not exaggerating. That's exactly what it is. I'm just giving you two examples manifesting the two extremes. I saw with my eyes. Right? With my eyes. I saw it, I heard it with my ears. I was there physically, like I'm sitting with you now. For both, right? One who goes there and he wants to break the whole church on the head of the people, right? You're wrong, this, kafir, shadha, jahannam, all that. You are maghdub alayhim, dallin, all. He got the whole thing, right? You're no good for nothing. Either you become a Muslim or you're no good for nothing. That's too much, right? The Prophet did not do that, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Quran did not do that. قُلْ يَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ تَعَالَوْا إِلَى كَلِمَةٍ سَوَاءٍ بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَكُمْ. Let's agree on something. The Quran shows us, right? And the other one, he says, those Muslims, no, we are not like that. We are the good Muslims. You can worship whatever you like. I have no power over you. We will do mosque. You do church. You do synagogue. He worship a cow. Let's go. We are all worship. Oh, good. Let's go. So both were there. And both are wrong. Both are wrong. Actually, the shocking part, those are not accepted and those are not accepted. Can you imagine that? Yani those who compromise the religion, the other ones trust them less than those who... You get the point? They don't agree with the way that these guys approach, okay? And they keep looking for someone moderate all the time. but they never trust these ones. Never. Why? Because they know that that's not what Islam teaches, right? Okay? So they know that these guys are ingratiating, like they are putting a mask, this is not what, no. I don't believe like that. Someone who's not Muslim says, well, I don't believe like this. I don't believe like that. I don't that you can do whatever you want and you have salvation. No. You have to believe in Jesus Christ first. And you're telling me the opposite, right? So I don't accept you. And that is the result of someone giving up their religion for the sake of someone else, right? So first, we get rid of the elephant in the room, right? The elephant in the room, the elephant in the room. I believe that you are not guided unless you follow my religion and you believe the same, right? Let's get that out of the way, okay? Now, let me introduce my religion to you and you can introduce yours, fine? And then, that's it, okay? So I tell you that's my religion, but Allah Azza wa Jal says that if you don't accept that, you're misguided. Now, does that mean I hurt you? Does that mean I don't deal with you with respect? Does that mean that you're not my neighbor? Does that mean? No, it doesn't mean any of that. Right? That's a belief system. And since we are coexisting in a land that ruled by a way that to give everybody their right, I cannot transgress your right to worship the way you like. Right? So, leave the faith, what I believe and what you believe, and don't make it a way to judge each other and then deal with each other based on it. No. My religion is telling me to deal with you even you are not believing in my religion in a nice way. Right? But I believe that my religion is the only way for the hereafter. But we are in the dunya now, right? How we deal with each other, you are my neighbor, you have the right of the neighbor. I don't care now what's your orientation, what your political thing, what is your gender, how you have your relationship with whatever, right? This is wrong, completely wrong for me, but you still have the right of a neighbor. You still have the right of the employer, employee, fellow citizen, and all of that. So, this is the rules that guards the debate. Okay? So, unless you are qualified and you understand, don't get there. Unfortunately, the people who are not qualified are the ones who try to get there and speak on the behalf. You find the news station come to the mosque, every single Muslim is like the one who wants to be in CNN now, right? They want to represent everybody. You don't have what it takes. And everybody wants to volunteer. They come here to talk to a leader of the community, but everybody's like, I can say whatever I want. And some people, they kind of smash everything. Right? So, Quran teaches us otherwise. Right? You have to be qualified and you have to really know what you do and follow the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah Azza wa Jalla say to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Surah Al-Nahl, Surah number 16, verse 125, Allah Azza wa Jalla telling Rasulullah, Udu'u ila sabili rabbika, call to the path of your Lord, bil hikmati wal maw'izati al-hasanati, with wisdom. And hikmah not everybody can get, right? يؤتي الحكمة من يشاء. Allah gives hikmah to whoever He wishes. So بالحكمة, number 1, والموعظة الحسنة, the good advice, number 2, and if they argue with you, وجادلهم بالتي هي أحسن. So argue or debate in a good manner. If you don't have those manners or you become emotional, then you're going to lose, right? You're going to hurt more than you gain. I go to debates and the Muslims are there. Or we go to a function. Let's function first. And the function is addressing, for example, the Muslim minorities, right? Muslim minorities. And the rights of the Muslims and in America, right? Now, this is a focused cause, right? Then you have like someone from Congress, someone from the city, someone like that. And then we are sitting there talking about how we as Muslim minorities. So it's not talking Malaysian, it's not talking from Singapore, it's not talking from Egypt, it's saying what? Muslim minorities, right? Right? Then you find a brother or sister hijacking all this cause. By one, saying always the look down upon the Bengali, Pakistani, Egyptian, trying to make it like ethnic now, right? We are talking Muslim, and this is an official coming to solve our problem, so we are all in the same boat, right? Now you personalize it, we all lose. And that's what happens, right? Then you start talking and say, oh yeah, every time, every one of my family come to the airport, so it's about his family now, right? Well, I don't come to the airport, okay. 10 people in the room come to the airport, okay. But one person having a problem, now it's focused on that issue, right? I stayed 8 years getting stopped at the airports and all of that, okay? And I attended numerous of those meetings. But they were not talking about personal experience. They were talking about the masjid, how you do the things, and how the community should engage and all of that. Now, if I take them to my personal thing, that's selfish, right? I can talk to them after the meeting, how to address it, how to do it, until it is done, right? But you cannot do it. That's one. The other thing, we are talking about local Muslims in the United States, the national. Then they say, you guys are bombing Syria. You are bombing Palestine, right? Which is a good cause. It's all right, we talk about it, but that's not the premise now. You are sitting with the city council to solve the city of Houston problem, right? So please, I'm not saying that this is not a worthy cause, but that's not the time, right? Someone inviting us to their church to present about Islam. Okay? Just giving you a simple example. What should we do when we go there? I took you with me, my class, and I am giving a 15-20 minute presentation in that church. What you guys should do? You should debate with them about Christianity and what is their belief and all of that. Why? Because invitation is not about that. Invitation is that we are presenting our deen. We're not going to discuss theirs now. Right? So what you're going to do is to respond to questions about Islam. That's your job. You don't ask questions, right? You ask social questions. How are you doing? How we do this? In our mosque we do that, like that, right? But you don't get to the belief part. Unfortunately, you take some people with you, and that's a problem also of those who go for those things. They take some people who are agitated, right? Right? You guys are singing. Jesus was never singing. You guys are doing this, and they attack it. Yeah, Alhamdulillah, they give you a chance to speak about your religion. Wallahi, thank you for that, guys. I really appreciate. And you make dua from your heart that Allah guide, right? An audience give you their undivided attention for 15 minutes. Why you go discuss their way of life? Why? Why you have to go discuss their way of life? بالتي هي أحسن. يعني you have to see what is appropriate for this level. Then it becomes easier on you. The next ayah is very simple. Allah Azza wa Jalla is showing us now Al-Uzair. Al-Uzair, they said, is a prophet. There is a debate, يعني he's a prophet or not, but he's a prophet of Allah Azza wa Jalla, according to strong opinions. He passed by this village. خاوية على عروشها. يعني العروش is like those pillars and ceiling roofs and everything is like collapsed. When like now you look to a town that is bombarded or something happened to it, like a tornado came through. What do you see? You see ruins. And they are not like done in an organized manner, like somebody is like remodeling or something like that. It happens in a systematic manner, right? But one roof is up and one wall is down and some people lying down and like things are like flying in the car, you find it through the roof of something. This is خاوية على عروشها, means no residents, either they're dead or they are driven out, and all the buildings and the structures are rubbles, right? خاوية على عروشها. In the Tafseer they're saying it is the surrounding the Baitul Maqdis, Jerusalem, right? And he passed by that village. They said he passed while he had his donkey, riding his donkey, and he had a basket which has figs, and he had the glass of juice of grapes or something like that. Now he saw that village which was destroyed by Bukht Nasr, as I just told you, right? Bukht Nasr. Now the first ayah is to prove the existence of Allah and His power, right? The second ayah is to prove Allah's power to resurrect people. This ayah. So one ayah to prove Allah Himself and His power, and the other one is to prove that Allah can bring people after death. So it's two ayahs. And the following ayah of Ibrahim, same thing. How it is done, right? So one ayah, it is how it is done through, he sees the donkey, right? How it's coming out, and how Allah Azza wa Jal did not make the food get rotten, and the drink, even though they are quickly to get rotten, and the fig will get bad fast, and the juice will ferment in 3 days, 3 days. It is 100 years, right? He wake up, Allah Azza wa Jal said, "Lam yatasanna." It is not like spoiled and then Allah make it fresh. No, it stayed fresh. That's the first law of nature was changed, that what needs to go rotten and decompose did not. And Allah make him decompose, then come back, but he did not see himself, right? So he has to see through the donkey. Yeah, yani he now woke up. He did not know what happened. He thought that he was just sleeping over, or he overslept, right? So how can he see how he is resurrected? Yani? He cannot see himself getting resurrected, right? It's a paradox, right? To see himself getting that means you have to have all functions, and to have all functions, you see how. So Allah Azza wa Jal told him, "Wanzur," you have to look now. How we bring someone like you is look at the donkey. Dust, nothing. There was nothing, right? Then the bones. He found that the bones are getting structure. It's like a laser thing, drawing the bones. And the bones and the rib cage and all of that front of him. Then the systems, like nervous system comes, and the flesh happens around, and then the pumping of the heart, and then the skin, and then the things, and then the donkey stood up and started braying, right? Yeah. In front of him, step by step, how the thing is created, how the thing is resurrected. He knew his donkey, right? Now he woke up and he sees donkey composed. If I slept overnight only, how come it is decomposed, right? And that's how when Allah told them, you slept 100 years, you understand now why? Because the donkey is gone, right? And if it is only 1 day, donkey will still be alive. But it's gone completely, because there are stages for decomposition, right? The first day, a human body or anything, and if it is done, then it swells. Then after that, all the organs in 3 days they explode. All the organs, like the liver, the spleen, and all of that. Then after that, the whole body does. Then after that, it becomes green. Then after that, all the germs and the worms and everything is done. And then it takes I don't know how many years, but the bones also they gone and become like dust, right? No, nothing, except subhanallah, the tailbone. And the tailbone becomes like the beans, the beans that it has like some cover around it. When it is dry, that's why Rasulullah ﷺ said there will be a rain, and we will be grown like a seed, giving a sprout out of it, and then your bones started, and then the flesh covers it, like exactly what Allah showed him through that donkey. That's why Allah Azza wa Jal told him when he passed, and he said, how can this come back? It is not like he is denying. It's not he's denying. He is like wondering how many years it would take. Like the process of it is like, it's like it's too much destruction. Like أَنَّا يُحْيِي هَذِهِ اللَّهُ, how long it would take, like that, right? So Allah Azza wa Jalla showed him that you will not even feel time, right? We can make things happen to you and you don't feel time. But let me show you how, right? So Allah Azza wa Jal told him كم لبثت when فأماته الله يعني Allah عز وجل make him طبعا he goes and he rests in the cave or something, right? And after he left the cave, he found the village, town, as if nothing happened. That was the other miracle, right? So after Allah showed him, how many years did you sleep? And that is the proof that the scholar said he's a prophet, right? Because Allah talks to him, right? Yeah, عزير. So قال أن يعني يحيي فأماته الله 100 عام 100 years ثم بعث. قال means Allah said كم لبثت? How long did you stay? قال means he talked back to Allah. لبثت يوما أو بعض يوم. Through the wahi or straight, that Allah knows, right? But he had some communication with Allah, that means he's a prophet, right? قال لبثت يوما أو بعض يوم, maybe day or part of the day. قال بل لبثت 100 عام 100 عام 100 years. 100 years. فانظر, now look to your food. فانظر إلى طعامك وشرابك, food and drink. لم يتسنى, لم, if lam, the word lam as a negative article precedes a present tense article, it gives the negation of the past. Again, يخرج means going out, right? And we are in now, right? We are inside. يخرج, Sheikh, يخرج means he Sheikh is exiting. That's a present tense, right? Right? But when you put lam before it, lam يخرج means he did not go out. So if lam goes before a present tense, it negates the present act that happened anywhere in the past. Never happened, right? When you say he did this, did he do it? You say lam يفعل. If you take lam out, يفعل means he's doing it now. Lam يفعل, he never did it before. From now until infinity in the past, right? So lam. So you put present tense, you put lam before it, means from the time I'm speaking now, all the way in the past, never happened. That was the meaning of the word lam, right?
So it's negate.
That's a long time to understand.
It did?
No, we didn't, but we both.
Yeah, we did in our class.
Still.
Oh my God, it took forever for us to get it.
But you got it now? Alhamdulillah. Alright, the opposite of that is lan. Lan is for negating the future. And now nobody can say lan with complete confidence that nothing will take place except Allah Azza wa Jal. Right? Yani Allah Azza wa Jal said lan means it's not going to happen, means for sure it's not going to happen. That's it, right? If you say it's not going to happen unless, means for sure it's not going to happen unless. Now if I tell you lan, it depends, right? If me as a human being, I tell you lan takhruji, you are not going to go out. How far can I control this, right? So human being, it's always approximate. But whenever Allah Azza wa Jalla said lan, means lan, khalas, that's it, right? Lam means it never happened. It's either a statement of truth or a statement of a lie. There is nothing in between. Alright? So, here, Allah Azza wa Jalla told him, Lam yatasanna, means there was no single second that this food went bad. Lam yatasanna. Lam yatasanna. تسنى no يتسنى لم يتسنى نعم يتسنى يعني يتغير, did not change, يعني did not change in taste or color or smell or anything like that. Okay, then he told him وانظر إلى حمارك, look at your donkey. And he found that his donkey is like nothing is there, right? وانظر إلى حمارك ولنجعلك للناس آية, and we'll make you a sign for people. Like, people would you become like a sign that they reflect on somebody who stayed there for 100 years. وانظر إلى حمارك ونجعلك آية للناس. وانظر, and look now, إلى العظام, look at the bones. كيف ننشزها. Another آية كيف ننشرها, يعني the another قراءة. It is recited in two different ways. كيف ننشرها, كيف ننشزها. كيف ننشرها means how we bring it back. Means the bones were not there and now it is there, right? ننشزها, how we form it, how it is formed. So the qira'at of the Quran, the different styles of the Quran explains each other. That's why Quran is not recited in one way, right? Some people say, why it's different qira'at? Because it's a smaller text, shorter text, right? So the word has to be giving all the meanings possible, intended. Otherwise you'll end up with volumes and volumes and volumes, right? So the Quran had to be precise and concise, and one word gives a lot of meaning. That's why the books of Tafseer are endless, right? Because one word gives you different ways. Taqwa is to shield, is to protect, is to hide, and all intended, right? Sabr means perseverance, means fortitude, means self-control, means all of that, and all is intended. There are words to give each one of those, but the word sabr gives all of those. That's one way to understand the Quran. The other way is sometimes the word recited in two different ways, and each one giving you half. Like in the hukm or in the belief. Example, when Allah Azza wa Jal says ayah of wudu in Surah Al-Ma'idah, there is an ayah for wudu, right? All who believe, if you go to salah, إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة فاغسلوا وجوهكم وأيديكم إلى المرافق. It tells you the fara'id of the wudu. وامسحوا برؤوسكم with a kasra, وأرجلكم with a fatha, right? إلى الكعبين. Now this أرجلكم is recited in two different ways. One, the way we recite حفص عن عاصم, for example, وأرجلكم with the fatha. Other qira'ah وأرجلكم with the kasra. See, fatha kasra, right? And you cannot recite it with fatha and kasra at the same time. It's either or, right? But there are two accepted qira'ah. But you cannot pick and choose, right? If you are reading Hafs, you have to read it like that. If you are reading another qira'ah, you have to go all the way like that, right? It's a different subject, but I'm just giving you a hint, yeah. So, the ayah here, in this ayah, there is mash on the head, and there is ghasl of the face and the arms. Yani the face, when we wash our face, there is no other way. Yani the face cannot be wiped or washed. It has to be washed. For wudu, right? We have to wash our face. You cannot just bring some water and do like this and wipe your face, right? You gotta wash the face. So face is to be washed. Hands to be, and the head to be not washed, right? So there is washed and not wiped, and there is wiped and not. But the leg, the feet can be washed and can be wiped on if it has a socks, right? How are we going to recite it to give the proof for both? You understand? So if we say وَأَرْجُلَّا, it is like وُجُوهَاكُمْ وَأَيْدِيَاكُمْ, then وَأَرْجُلَّاكُمْ. So arjulakum, wash, wash, wipe, wash. Right? Because the order of the wudu, the legs cannot come before the head. Right? So Allah Azza wa Jalla giving the order. You wash the face, you wash the arms, you wipe the head, and you do what? The leg. So the order is intended here, yes? Okay. But the problem is, the head is not washed. The head is wiped. So it came in the middle now. Of three, two washing, and the feet has to be washed too, right? But the head is in the middle here to be wiped. Now the Arabic grammar is to follow what is coming before. You see the complications here? So Allah Azza wa Jalla said, اغسلوا وجوهكم, مفعول به يعني. مفعول به has to have a fatha, right? وجوهكم. Wa means and. Another مفعول به, right? وأيديكم, right? Now if he says وَرُؤُوسَكُمْ means you wash your head. That's why Allah changed the verb here. He said وَامْسَحُوا. Masah, right? Masah to what? Because a different verb. He said اغسلوا, now امسحوا, right? امسحوا برؤوسكم. Now there is another word coming. Which one it goes with? First verb or second verb? You have two verbs now, huh? Wash, two organs. And another verb says, wipe on another organ. Now I have another organ now. Wash or wipe?
Either.
You get the idea now? If you say wash, then wujuha, aydiya, arjula. Right? That means he did not say waghsilu arjulakum, right? Because the hukm, you can do both, right? So he's not going to say waghsilu aw imsahu arjulakum. The language is no good, right? So instead, it can be both. So if you say arjulakum, means like your face and your arms. If you say wa arjuli, means like your head, means wiping. So it did not mention any verb in the last one, because you can do either. So that's why the qira'ah here is a dalil for masah. You know, when you make a masah. So the qira'ah sometimes is needed because it explains the other one, right? In the Quran, Allah Azza wa Jal said, وَفِي السَّمَاءِ رِزْقُكُمْ وَمَا تُعَدُونَ. In the heavens is your rizq, right? رِزْقُكُمْ وَمَا تُعَدُونَ. There is another qira'ah, وَفِي السَّمَاءِ رَازِقُكُمْ. And that proves that Allah is in the heavens. Yani there is no ayah that says Allah is in heaven. There is hadith, right? Allah fi sama. It says like that, right? Allah is above the heavens. Hadith. But there is no direct ayah that says Allah is in above the heavens, right? But the one qira'ah, it makes it like that. You said rizqukum or raziqukum. The one who gives you the rizq, he is fi sama. Sometimes the waqf in tajweed gives you that meaning too. يعني in Surah Al-An'am, Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَهُوَ اللَّهُ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ يَعْلَمُ سِرَّكُمْ وَجَهْرَكُمْ. Right? وَهُوَ اللَّهُ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ, or He is Allah in the heavens, He is Allah on earth. Means worshipped in heavens, worshipped in earth. Right? But if I say, وَهُوَ اللَّهُ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ, and stop. وَفِي الْأَرْضِ يَعْلَمُ سِرَّكُمْ وَجَهْرَكُمْ, and He knows what you do on earth. Right? So the meaning changed. Like, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ لا ريب فيه, same thing. Yani, so sometimes the qira'ah gives you another meaning which is in your faith and belief, or another hukm in fiqh like you do. So yani, this is one thing. We'll stop here. So because he saw his donkey now becoming alive and stood in front of him, and then Allah Azza wa Jalla sent the ruh in it and it started functioning like that. Then he goes out and he see the village that he was wondering how it will come back. He found Bani Israel came back to it again. He find the people there, their families and everything. And now he knows that Allah is able. قَالَ أَعْلَمُ أَنَّ اللَّهَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٍ. يعني I know that Allah is Qadir. I'm just wondering how it is going to happen. How long does it take? It doesn't mean how long. Sometimes we compare it to our life. But for Allah is nothing, right? يعني when you read the history, you kind of sometimes don't imagine what happened. And we look at Syria, Palestine, Burma and all of that. This is very bad situation. But there were worse situations before, right? There were worse situations before. And it came out. And when you look at things happening, you don't know what was happening. Look at around you, it's beautiful, driving your car and going to the park and all that. One day there were Indians here, right? And there were big massacres for millions and millions of them, right? But now where is that? Would you know about it if you didn't read about it? You wouldn't know, right? And after 1,000 years from now, there's still 1,000 years in this world, right? People would not even know that we were sitting here and studying or doing anything, right? As if it didn't happen. So for Allah Azza wa Jal, the measurement is completely different from ours, right? May Allah teach us what benefit us and benefit us of what we learn. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم جزاكم الله خيرا.